Old Bibles and scriptures depicting biblical times are a very important piece of history, something that millions of people live their lives by. Throughout history, many of these historical and religious texts have been lost, mainly due to war. Many of them held important information that is now either forgotten or left in the past and hidden from Christian society. But with the book they have now found, perhaps the whole history will have to be rewritten. A 1,500-year-old Bible has been discovered in Turkey. Discovered and kept secret in the year 2000, the book contains the Gospel of Barnabas, a disciple of Christ, which shows that Jesus was not crucified, nor was he the Son of God, but a prophet. This video is set to expose more shocking revelations from the book. The book also calls Apostle Paul the impostor. Barnabas, in the work, claims that Jesus was not crucified. Instead, it says he ascended to heaven alive, and Judas Iscariot was crucified in his place. Furthermore, the 1,500-year-old Bible states that Jesus Christ was not the Son of God, but simply a prophet who passed on the word of God. A report by the National Turk says that the Bible was seized from a gang of smugglers in a Mediterranean area operation. The objects found in their trove were supposed to be smuggled out of the country and sold for huge amounts of money. Besides different jewels, swords, and paintings, a very worn-out and distorted Bible was found. The Bible itself didn't look very valuable until authorities discovered that every single one of its pages was made from gold. Specialists have taken a better look at the Bible to assess its age, and it seems that the Bible is at least 1,000 years old. This has been specified due to it being written in Old Assyrian, Surith, a language that since the 5th century had slowly died. The report states the gang was charged with smuggling antiquities, illegal excavations, and the possession of explosives. The book itself is valued as high as 40 million Turkish liras, what is like $28 million. Man, where is the Thieves Guild when you need them? The origins of the Bible are still unknown. The Bible is reportedly damaged, but the writings in the Old Assyrian language can be still noticed on the crumbled pages. The cover is completely ruined, but the remaining 51 pages have images and religious motifs in gold leaf. Theologians are hoping that the 1,000-year-old document will shed clues about how Christianity developed in past centuries. According to reports, experts and religious authorities in Tehran insist that the book is original. The book itself is written with gold lettering onto loosely tied leather in Aramaic, the language of Jesus Christ. The text maintains a vision similar to Islam, contradicting the New Testament's teachings of Christianity. Jesus also foresees the coming of the Prophet Muhammad, who would find Islam 700 years later. Turkish Culture and Tourism Minister Ertuğrul Günay said the book could be an authentic version of the Gospel, which was suppressed by the Christian Church for its strong parallels with the Islamic view of Jesus. It is believed that, during the Council of Nicaea, the Catholic Church hand-picked the Gospels that formed the Bible as we know it today, omitting the Gospel of Barnabas, among many others, in favor of the 4 canonical Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Many biblical texts have begun to surface over time, including those of the Dead Sea and Gnostic Gospels. But this book especially seems to worry the Vatican. In line with Islamic belief, the Gospel treats Jesus as a human being and not a god. It rejects the ideas of the Holy Trinity and the crucifixion, and reveals that Jesus predicted the coming of the Prophet Muhammad. In one version of the Gospel, he is said to have told a priest, "How shall the Messiah be called? Muhammad is his blessed name." And in another, Jesus denied being the Messiah, claiming that he or she would be Ishmaelite, the term used for an Arab. Despite the interest in the newly rediscovered book, some believe it is a fake and only dates back to the 16th century. The oldest copies of the book date back to that time and are written in Spanish and Italian. Protestant pastor Ihsan Özbek said it was unlikely to be authentic. This is because Saint Barnabas lived in the 1st century and was one of the apostles of Jesus, in contrast to this version, which is said to come from the 5th or 6th century. He told the Today Zaman newspaper, the copy in Ankara might have been written by one of the followers of Saint Barnabas. Since there is around 500 years in between Saint Barnabas and the writing of the Bible copy, Muslims may be disappointed to see that this copy does not include things they would like to see. it might have no relation with the content of the Gospel of Barnabas. Theology professor Omar Farouk Harman said a scientific scan of the Bible may be the only way to reveal how old it really is. What does this mean to Christian-derived religions and their followers? Quite a tight spot. The Vatican has asked Turkish authorities to let them examine the contents of the book within the church. Now that the book has been found, will they come to accept it and its evidence? Will they deny it altogether? Call it a Muslim lie, as did the Truth magazine in 2000? To many, this book is a beacon of hope, that believers soon realize that the object of their adoration is arbitrary, and that all text, especially religious text, is subject to interpretation. What does this mean to atheists, agnostics, secular thinkers? Is the text real? Fake? Does it matter? Hopefully this news inspires the religious to ask questions, instead of pointing fingers or believing anything blindly. Please don't go poking fun or tossing around the "I told you so." The biggest danger of faith is when people believe what they want to believe, defending against any and all evidence, especially when that evidence revolutionizes their foundation from the ground up. And the biggest culprit to that danger is the ego trap, rejecting, criticizing others for being unlike you. What does this mean to Christian-derived religions and their followers? Quite a tight spot. The Vatican has asked Turkish authorities to let them examine the contents of the book within the church. Now that the book has been found, will they come to accept it and its evidence? Will they deny it altogether? Call it a Muslim lie, as did the Truth magazine in 2000? To many, this book is a beacon of hope, that believers soon realize that the object of their adoration is arbitrary, and that all text, especially religious text, is subject to interpretation. What does this mean to atheists, agnostics, secular thinkers? Is the text real? Fake? Does it matter? Hopefully, this news inspires the religious to ask questions instead of pointing fingers or believing anything blindly. Please don't go poking fun or tossing around the "I told you so's." The biggest danger of faith is when people believe what they want to believe, defending against any and all evidence, especially when that evidence revolutionizes their foundation from the ground up. And the biggest culprit to that danger is the ego trap, rejecting, criticizing others for being unlike you. Blind faith has also played a role in shaping societal norms and limiting individual autonomy. In many cultures, traditional beliefs rooted in blind faith have perpetuated discriminatory practices based on gender, race, or sexual orientation. These beliefs have hindered progress towards equality and justice, often leading to systemic oppression and marginalization. Moreover, blind faith has contributed to the suppression of critical thinking and intellectual inquiry. When individuals are encouraged to accept beliefs without question, it stifles intellectual curiosity and hinders the advancement of knowledge. This can have profound implications for scientific progress, social development, and the overall well-being of society. Challenging blind faith requires a commitment to critical thinking, evidence-based reasoning, and open dialogue. Encouraging individuals to question beliefs, examine evidence critically, and engage in respectful discourse is essential for combating the negative impact of blind faith. For centuries, the defense of blind faith has driven nations to war, violence, discrimination, slavery, and to become the society of automatons that we are today. And for just as long it has been justified with lies. If you know better, act like it. The Vatican has made an official request to be granted access to the 1,500-year-old Bible. However, the Bible that is said to be worth $28 million is currently held by the Turkish government securely. The holy words are handwritten in Syriac in luminous gold lettering on loosely bound together animal hides. Syriac is a dialect of Aramaic, the reported native language of Jesus Christ. Aramaic itself is a nearly dead language, rarely present in today's modern society. Aramaic is only spoken in a small village near Damascus. It was closely guarded until 2010, when it was finally handed over to the Ankara Ethnography Museum, and will soon be put back on public display following a minor restoration. According to the Christian Post, merely photocopies of the Holy Book's pages are being sold for a staggering $1.7 million. In addition to the age and impeccable construction of the Bible, The contents of the Holy Book is what makes it so valuable. The Gospel of Barnabas is not included in the New Testament alongside Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. This work opposes the ideas proposed in the widely spread New Testament and instead has noticeable similarities to the Muslim interpretation of Jesus. The Gospel of Barnabas even contains a story in which Jesus predicts the coming of Prophet Muhammad. Due to this fact, many followers of Islam believe the original Gospel work was repressed by the Vatican Library. Theologians have hoped the Bible would offer valuable insights into the way Christianity has developed in the past century. But there has been no new research shared since the find.